So Duncan v. Bonta, the case challenging the state of California's ban on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, has now been distributed to the Supreme Court for consideration, and this case could be resolved faster than we anticipated. So let's talk about this. But real quick, I want to thank everybody who has subscribed to the channel over the last few days to help me reach my 300,000 subscriber goal by my 3-year anniversary here on YouTube. Over the last 7 days, we've gained about 6,000 subscribers, which is absolutely awesome. So thank you to everybody who subscribed to the channel, and if you're not currently subscribed, please consider subscribing to actually help me reach that goal by early July. Also, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Sonoran Desert Institute. SDI is an accredited online college that helps students learn these skills and techniques they'll need to be successful in the firearms industry. So if you enjoy gun repair, ballistics, and learning about firearms, SDI might be a good option for you. To find out more about SDI, you can visit the website linked down below. Thank you again to SDI for sponsoring this video. So like I said in the intro, the state of California's ban on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds has made its way up to the Supreme Court and has now been distributed to the Supreme Court for conference in a couple weeks. The case we're going to be talking about in this video is Duncan v. Bonta. This case is asking the US Supreme Court to strike down California's unconstitutional ban and retrospective confiscation of magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, or what California calls them to be so-called large capacity magazines. Now, for those of you who are not aware of what this case involves, let me explain real quick. Duncan v. Bonta, previously known as Duncan v. Becerra, involves the possession of so-called large capacity magazines in the state of California. California Penal Code Section 32310 bans the buying, selling, possession, etc. of magazines that hold more than 10 rounds by ordinary people in the state of California. This law was challenged in the Southern District of California, and a district court judge, Roger T. Benitez, or St. Benitez, issued a ruling that found the law in California was a violation of the Second Amendment. This led to what many have called and many know as Freedom Week in the state of California. During a single week period of time, when the magazine restrictions were lifted, millions of magazines were purchased and brought into the state of California and are in current possession of law-abiding gun owners in the state. The state of California obviously didn't like the Benitez ruling, they didn't like their unconstitutional law being struck down, so they decided to appeal the decision up to the Ninth Circuit. A 3-judge panel in the Ninth Circuit reviewed the decision of Judge Benitez and actually agreed with him. Well, after California lost once again, they decided they weren't going to live with that decision either, so they sought a rehearing en banc, which means a review by 11 judges in the Ninth Circuit. The en banc panel in the Ninth Circuit heard the case and ultimately issued a ruling finding that California's magazine ban does not violate the Second Amendment, since residents still have 10-round magazines that they can use for self-defense. In reaching that decision, they used the Ninth Circuit's flawed two-step approach and found that under intermediate scrutiny, this law in the state of California was valid. That decision by the en banc panel led to the petitioners here in Duncan filing for a petition for writ of certiorari, or for Supreme Court review, and that is where this case currently is. The petitioners/plaintiffs in their writ of certiorari to the Supreme Court stated that California's retrospective and confiscatory ban on magazines capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition is unconstitutional twice over. The Ninth Circuit acknowledged that such magazines are commonly possessed by law-abiding citizens for lawful purposes. Indeed, they constitute fully half of the magazines in the entire country. These are standard issue magazines owned by millions of ordinary law-abiding citizens. The court assumed that such magazines are in fact protected by the Second Amendment, but just as in every other case in which the Ninth Circuit was willing to make that same assumption, it made absolutely no difference. The Ninth Circuit held that these utterly commonplace and constitutionally protected magazines not only can be banned prospectively, meaning going forward, but can be confiscated without running afoul of the Second Amendment. So despite finding that magazines are constitutionally protected arms, the Ninth Circuit still said it's okay not only to ban them prospectively, but also that those magazines that were grandfathered in could then also be confiscated. The petitioners further stated in their writ that the decision here aptly captures the lower court's two-step approach that proceeds in the name of heightened scrutiny, but inevitably, 50 times out of 50, upholds even draconian restrictions on the fundamental constitutional rights. So this case is a big case for those of us here in the state of California, but it is also big for other people in other states as well who maybe have this type of magazine restriction as well. Now, in this case, Duncan, all the briefings are finished at the Supreme Court level, and the case has now been distributed to the Supreme Court for conference, which as of right now is set to take place on May 26th of 2022, so here in just a couple weeks. So in just a couple weeks, the justices will get together and decide whether or not they want to take up this case, which seeks to do away with bans on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, or what the lefties like to call so-called large capacity magazines. Typically at conference, the Supreme Court can decide to take up a case, deny review in a case, or they can decide to put it on hold until they decide another case. The Supreme Court has already placed another case, the A&J RPC v. Graywall case, on hold, which deals with the state of New Jersey's magazine restrictions. So the Supreme Court could do the same here with Duncan. However, as we draw closer and closer to the release of the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin concealed carry decision, this conference, along with another one, could be very telling. In a prior video, I discussed that the Bianchi v. Frosch case, which deals with Maryland's ban on so-called assault weapons, has been distributed for conference before the Supreme Court on May 19th. So usually after a conference, we get the Supreme Court's orders the following week. And after this, after Bianchi's conference, we get news that the Supreme Court decided to take up the Bianchi case. That signals to us that they will likely issue a pro to a decision not just in Bruin, but they are aiming to apply their new ruling to other Second Amendment issues as well. And if Bianchi is taken up, that means that the following conference in Duncan would bode really positive for the court taking up that issue as well. However, if the Supreme Court does deny review in the Bianchi case, that could mean that the Supreme Court is not going to issue any more opinions outside of Bruin, that they are going to once again skirt the magazine issue, the rifle issue in Bianchi, and they're just going to kind of do a one and done opinion with Bruin. Now, one wrinkle I want to point to in this Duncan case is that the Firearms Policy Coalition, in their amicus brief to the Supreme Court, proposed that the Supreme Court issue summary reversal in this case. A summary reversal is when the Supreme Court grants certiorari in a case and overturns the opinion below without written briefs or oral arguments on the merits of the case. So instead of going through all the briefings at the Supreme Court level and waiting for oral arguments, the Supreme Court could instead bypass all of that and just issue an opinion and reverse the Ninth Circuit's decision down below because it was just so wrong. In my opinion, that remedy might not be likely, but if the Supreme Court wants, they could take up the Duncan case after the conference, wait until they issue the Bruin decision, and then issue a summary reversal in Duncan based on that recent decision in Bruin. That would streamline the entire process in the Duncan case, remand the case back down to Judge Benitez faster than we all anticipated. And again, it could just streamline that process. And if the Supreme Court really is just tired of what the Ninth Circuit is doing, they can just say, we're going to issue summary reversal. Look at our Bruin decision. You are getting this completely wrong. We're just going to remand this all the way back down to Benitez for him to actually rule according to our recent opinion. Again, this is a bold strategy. I hope that it does play out like that. But again, I think it's a long shot. And I think if the Supreme Court does take up the Duncan case, if they do take up the Bianchi case, it will go through the traditional process, the briefings and the oral arguments, because the Supreme Court, if they want to take up more Second Amendment cases, I think they're going to want to flush out all the analysis even more. So that is where this critical case currently stands. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. Also, if you like this video and like support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All that helps to fuel the algorithm or fuel, not going to say it because you all get mad about it sometimes. But yeah, really, you guys commenting, liking, hitting the notification bell, sharing the video, it helps to spread the word about these videos, what's going on in the Second Amendment kind of world, and helps me to reach and educate more people than I could ever do on my own. So again, I just want to thank you guys for all of your support, and you guys doing all that stuff really does actually help to fuel the algorithm and push these videos to more people. So again, thank you guys for all of your support. And as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget, this is Built by Armed Scholars, and this station we maintain by Armed Scholars.